$25 for an individual and $37.50 a couple. But let's remember that is an annual fee, not a monthly fee. So that's very, very minimum cost to those non-residents. Fitness programs are operating at capacity. If there is one underutilized program area at this facility, it would be our woodworking shop. And we've just seen a decrease in the utilization of that particular program. And staff feel that we could probably change the delivery of how we operate the woodworking shop to realize some savings there. Parking is inadequate. If you're ever at this facility on a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday morning, we're parked along the back street, along the side street, and we also spill over into the First Baptist Church, who has been kind enough to allow us to use their parking area during the weekdays, which creates an unsafe condition because we're asking seniors to walk across a very busy street to get back to our facility. Potential to increase revenue at this facility. We do have the opportunity and are asking this year in our fee schedule changes to increase the non-resident fees. These fees were established in 1998 and have never been increased. And again, we're targeting non-residents because they don't pay city taxes, which subsidizes the operation of this facility.
What is the plan to increase it to what?
To go from 25 for an individual to 60, and to go to 90 for the couple. And if you divide that, it seems like a big jump, but if you divide that by 12, that's going to be about $5 a month. So for $5 a month, they're going to get all the fitness programs, you know, all the facility.
How much additional money would that?
It's about $8,000 extra dollars if that would increase. J. Ray Shoot Center. This facility, what kind of jumps out off the screen is how well-rounded our programs is. You'll see that 30% of the programs offered at this facility, or 30% of the participation at this facility is in educational programming. Our operating cost is $109,667,000. And some of the reasoning we think that the educational programming is so strong here is that the average participant age tends to be a little bit younger, kind of in that 6 to 12. Also, we have a very strong partnership with the Housing Authority. Also, we're located directly across the street from the Housing Authority, so when those buses come to drop those kids off after school, they typically come right into our center during the time period when all of our educational programming is taking place.
I have a question. What is the graphic you're showing on the side up there? What is that?
Well, that represents our average daily usage.
So you're talking about that's how many people go in there a day?
That's how many people come in there per day. And then the chart on the right, again, is what they do once they're there. So that's telling us what program areas what the percentage is in program areas. So at that facility, as you saw, 2012, it was an average of 62. We dropped a little bit in 13 to 53, and then we jumped back up to 63 for last fiscal year.
Tanya, I see you have an average participant age of 6 to 12. Do you have an idea as to the participation of the 13 to the 18-year-olds?
It is lower. I don't have that information, and most of that participation does take place in that 22% of open gym. However, we do still see a lot of the kids from this area continue to go to the Winchester gym to play there because that's what they were used to for a long time before this facility was built. So a lot of the older kids in this neighborhood still go over to Winchester for open gym use. The old Armory, 47% is rentals and meetings, and that's no surprise. You have the banquet facility there, so that is heavily utilized for rentals and meetings. And also, I need to mention that the rental usage is not included in this daily usage. I didn't have a good way of doing that to not skew all the numbers across all facilities. So we don't want it to seem that this is an underutilized facility because it is very heavily utilized, but the majority, 47% of that, is in the rentals and meetings. The next highest usage area is the 28%, and that is for the YWCA program. This is a program that operates out of this building and provides after school and full day care during the summer months. Annual operating cost is $83,955. Again, rental usage is not included, and it is heavily utilized for meetings and rentals. The fitness, we do have a membership for the fitness room there, and we do charge fees, and we charge fees for residents and non-residents. For a resident, it's $25, and this is an annual fee. $5 for a resident senior. Non-residents are $75, and those are annual fees. We do believe, you see there's only 18% usage in that fitness room, but a lot of the reason for that is because when the fitness room, when the banquet area is being used for rentals and events, that fitness area has to go. So if we could open the fitness room probably for more hours, you would see that percentage begin to rise. Again, talking about the partnership with YWCA, this is a great partnership for us because what it does is we provide the facility and they provide staffing and all the funding that goes along to provide this program. We have the opportunity to put these type programs in other facilities, other recreation facilities. We would certainly like to do that, but it's a funding issue on the Y side. This program is primarily funded through United Way, and there are just not any additional funds right now to increase their programs in Monroe.
Tony, do you actually bring the kids in, bus the kids in for that program? Or
They do bus the kids. They work with the school system, and so the buses drop the participants off at that rec center.
Do other people use them besides the memberships? And you have people that come in maybe one time or something, and they come in and pay a one-time fee, or do they?
For the fitness room, I know it's just a pure membership, we don't do any daily fees. Also, an area we've seen growth at this facility is in senior programming through weekly socials. They have weekly card days and field trips. Also, a lot of the usage in that fitness room is senior usage. Sutton Park, highest percentage of use is in the open gym. However, key here is at 29% in educational programming. That has taken a huge jump in the last couple of years. Annual operating cost is $87,499. And we believe that one of the main reasons we've seen an increase in the participation in educational programming is that next bullet point. The center supervisor there formed a youth advisory board in 2014. Those children are aged 13 to 18. They work with the center supervisor to assist in planning programs. Peer pressure is a powerful tool, whether it be positive or negative. In this case, we're seeing a positive influence of peer pressure because these kids are going out and encouraging other kids to come and participate in programs that they are helping to plan. This is something we're going to repeat at the other recreation centers, and we are currently working at Winchester Center to establish a youth advisory board there.
Do you have an idea as to the number of kids that's involved with that advisory board in the program?
I think we have 8 on that board right now. We do serve a large Hispanic demographic at this facility. It does help that the center supervisor is bilingual at this facility. Winchester Center, open gym sees the largest usage here. We do have a problem getting kids to participate in educational programming. And again, we hope that by establishing that advisory board that we can increase participation in those programs. We have an annual operating cost of $196,000, $196,835. $148,000, little less than $149,000 goes to operate the gym, the pool, and the baseball meeting rooms. Ceramics cost us about $44,000 a year. And unfortunately, the ceramics program, we have seen a decrease in participation in that program. In 2014, we averaged about 5 daily participants. Potential savings, we could look at maybe delivering that program differently or trying to increase participation. But if there are any savings in any of the programs there, we could certainly reallocate those dollars to possibly better meet the needs in that community. Opportunities, we certainly have the opportunity to engage the community members and try to solicit input. That is key across all of our rec centers and all of our communities. We need to better market our programs and facilities. Currently, the way we market these programs is through a quarterly program guide that's moving to all the elementary schools and to the middle school. But what we're hearing through community-wide surveys that have been associated or have been done through our master plan update, and also a survey that we did specifically in the Winchester community, is this doesn't seem to be the best method for providing that information any longer. So staff is currently working on better ways of marketing our programs. We need to collectively evaluate and prioritize existing programs. And after doing that, we need to realize if there are any potential savings. Do we need to eliminate any programs? And can we reallocate funds if the programs are eliminated into programs that better meet the needs of these communities? And in summary, program variety does exist at the facilities. Whether or not these are the programs that the communities want to see us offering is what we've got to find out. We need, and again, we need to evaluate and prioritize the current programs to see if we can operate more efficiently or better serve these communities, develop better marketing strategies, and then if there are any, potential funds that we save in one area, can we reallocate them to better meet those community needs? Monroe Country Club Golf Course. This is what you're seeing on this screen is the number of rounds, total number of rounds that are played on the golf course. And you can see 12, 13, and 14, we have seen increases in those numbers. One thing that I want to point out is that out of that 30,020 rounds that were played in 2014, 63% were non-member rounds. That's a very important number as I show you this next slide. Memberships have they've taken a slight decline. So if memberships are going to stay flat or decline, then we know to generate additional revenues, we've got to have more daily play. And so that's been an emphasis at the golf course. Ballroom rentals have remained fairly steady. 2012, we're still kind of climbing back out of all the poor economy. A lot of folks weren't doing Christmas parties, so that hurt the rentals at this facility. Had a big jump back in 13, then we kind of fell off a little bit in 14. Currently looking at projections for the rest of this year, we look like we're going to be back, more in that 2013 range. Operating deficit at the country club. We have been able to reduce the operating deficit by about $86,000 over the last 2 years. Staff feel that we can continue to reduce this deficit. Revenues are up, and we project they're going to continue to rise. So we're working very hard to operate as efficiently as we can to reduce this number.
That's a huge deficit.
It's huge, but again, it's 86,000 less than it was 2 years ago. Opportunities, increase revenue through outings and programs, increase daily non-member rounds. We need to better market the programs and facilities with a special emphasis on women, juniors, and seniors. Enhance, improve equipment preventative maintenance programs. To save money at this facility, we have got to get as much as we can get out of all of our equipment. In order to do that, it has to be well maintained. We're currently working with our department-wide mechanic to try to put preventative maintenance programs in place that will do that. And then continue to realize savings with prudent agronomic practices. If we can do it in-house, we're doing it in-house. We're not contracting it out. If we can use a generic fungicide, then we're using a generic fungicide to save money. And in summary, non-member rentals have continued to increase. Ballroom rentals have remained stable. Creative marketing strategies need to continue. Maintenance staff, they've maintained excellent course conditions while still reducing our operating costs. And we do know that we have to put out a quality product in order for revenues to continue to increase. Golfers have a lot of choices now on where they play. And in order for them to play at your facility, it has to be a quality facility. We need to continue to increase our outings and tournaments to generate additional revenue in that area. And also, we're going to continue to realize savings through prudent economic practice. That concludes my presentation.
I hear lots of times, and I'm sure some of the other staff and council members do also, how much better that golf course is, how nice it is. But my question would be, and how can we reach out and do a better job reaching out to so many of these organizations that does benefits that, go here and there. Of course, it's mixed up everywhere. I wonder if there's some way we could do something to draw more of them to us, more than what we're getting.
And we're trying to do that. We've got the American Red Cross is hosting their tournament. The homeless shelter hosts their tournament. They're two of the biggest tournaments we do. And word of mouth has been great because as the facility, has improved, and the service that we provide for tournaments has improved, we are starting to generate more interest. But as you say, that is an area that we have got to tap into.
Yeah, there's some way we could reach out to those folks, and I'm not in that business, but I have heard many times over how much greater that golf course is. And that's a good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next up is Pete.
Give me 1 second. Do double
Providing
duty.
you comments and insights on a potential branding initiative.
Mayor, Council, thank you for the opportunity to present this. Like the manager said, creating identity through community branding. Monroe is a difficult sell at times. Within the region, within our area, within our city, we are looked upon one way. Outside of our city, we're looked upon another way. So the question I want to pose to you is, what is Monroe? We have an identity with our air show. We have an identity with our aerospace hub and other things. We've also got an identity with a great downtown. We've got great events. We've got great activities. We've got a fantastic corporate center. We've got great history and heritage within our city, and we've got great people. People make Monroe. That, again, this is my take on it. The people in Monroe are dedicated to Monroe. What we're looking at doing is branching out past Monroe. What do we want to be? What do we want to be known as outside of Monroe? And what are we going to do to get there? What are the steps that we're going to take to make that possible, to become a destination, to become a city? You hear Mooresville, Race City. You hear Hilton Head. You have a vision of what Hilton Head is. When you hear Monroe, I don't know what you hear outside of the residents of Monroe. One way to accomplish it is through community branding. As you can see here,